Blog Talk Radio.
You know, part of me waits for the theme song to kick in every time, and it doesn't.
Me too.
Hi, welcome to Psychic Tapestry. That was a weird way to start. But it's been a while. I'm Ken Kessler, and she's Toni DeMaio. Hi, Toni.
Hi, Ken. Hi, everybody. Happy 4th
and
or 5th.
We are back live Tuesday, July 5th. It has been a while, but I think I remember how to push the buttons.
I bet you do.
I mentioned that, excuse me, I mentioned that right as we were starting that I was waiting for the theme music. And we used to use some recognizable music, but because our podcast has been picked up on lots of other sites, and that music is copyrighted and I don't have licensing for it, that's why it's not there. I don't know if anybody really cares, but I thought since I started talking about it, I should at least explain why. So now you know. Phone lines are open. 347-838-9903 is the number. If you are listening on the Blog Talk Radio website, chat room is now open too, so you can pop in there and join us. You can also connect through social media, facebook.com/Psychic Tapestry or @Psychic Tapestry on Twitter. Phone's the best because you may have questions for us, follow-up questions, and we may have them for you. And the back and forth of that is much easier on the phone than it is typing it out in the chat room or that kind of thing. So that's why those other options are available to you, but the phone's the best if you can do it. So there. Toni and I were talking briefly before we started about what we were going to talk about, because there's a lot of political stuff going on, and it can be overwhelming, and for a lot of people it feels like the world is on fire. And that made me think, well, we don't want to talk, we're not here to talk about any of those specific issues. Toni, you're really good at this, so I don't feel like I'm playing a gotcha game of surprising you with a question.
Oh,
but
no, nothing.
What kind of things do you recommend for people to do when they're feeling overwhelmed by the news? What kind of stuff?
We need to talk to people that's home. Talk to our people and stay connected. The worst thing is to be afraid alone. That's what I think. And I think we have to be reminded of history. If you study history or go back on any of the historical things, I've been looking at the documentaries on Watergate because I, of course, lived through Watergate. And that kind of felt like the end of the world at the time, that, it was very revelatory. And, looking back on that and just seeing all the stuff that happened and realizing that we survived that and we will survive this. We will survive wars, looking back on old wars even, and looking at the surrounding, the real story. When you look back on history, you get the real story about how bad it was or how dangerous it was, or this could have happened and that could have happened. And so by doing that, it's kind of comforting to me to realize that things have been bad before and we always survive. And then I believe that there's power in prayer. I really believe that. And that there is power in positivity. So by just flooding positivity out there and expecting the best instead of the worst, we help to lift the collective vibration of the whole planet. And in this way, we help to improve things. And personally, what I'm doing, a friend introduced me to the YouTube Psychic, not the one that just put out the cards, but the one to talk about current events. And I found that hanging with my peeps, kind of, and has been very, very, very comforting. It totally comforts me in some strange way. I can't explain why. But that's why I said at the beginning to talk to your people or hang out with your people or interact with them.
It's funny when you said hang out with your people, I was about to ask before you clarified it. I was about to ask, are you talking about your living people or your dead people?
It's kind of both. For me,
it can be,
both.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. I've been getting a lot of messages from my daughter Samantha. That's you just brought this up, and the psychics have been calling me and saying, Samantha is so happy that you moved into your little place, and she wants you to know she's so grateful you did because she was so concerned about you. And just all these little things are coming from people that I don't even know. And a jewelry designer came up to me and said, asked me the other day at Reiki if I had a daughter named Samantha, and I don't know this woman well. So I said, yes, I do. Or I did. And she said, well, she came to me in a dream and told me to make you a green jade bracelet and to please give it to you from her. So this lovely lady gifted me with it. And the significance of the green, the woman didn't know. But I used to always have red hair. So Samantha loved me in green. And everything she ever gave me was green. So that was such a beautiful gift, And sometimes our dead people can also help us with current events even, and with feeling better about how things are. And then just the knowledge that I at least believe that I put myself here. I came for the show. I'm here for it. Front and center. I chose it. I believe we all did. And we all have something to contribute to the consciousness of the world.
Yeah, sometimes I think about that, and I really question my judgment.
I've just got a couple of friends that have said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do? What do you do to make yourself feel better?
Well, I'm fortunate in that the ocean is a short drive from where I live, and that helps.
It does.
I'm fortunate that I have some family around, and spending time with them helps. Sometimes it helps. Sometimes it's too much.
Yep. Right.
I'm sure that's not unique to me.
Nope.
Music helps, and connecting or trying to connect with my spiritual team helps. And one of the things that I have struggled with is that I sometimes expect still even that my guides are going to solve my problems for me.
Yeah.
And I know that's not the case. I know I have to live my own life and figure things out. And however I figure them out, that's going to be of value to me one way or another. And I know I have to do that. But when times are tough, I think it's just sort of natural to turn to your guides and go, all right, get me out of this.
I think what I recently did the release and surrender in a difficult situation, and the guides brought me the answer within 1 week. So the release and surrender is a good way to do it. Release and surrender the problem, the issue, and admit that you don't see the way out of this situation, because I did not at the time, and just say, I don't see it, but I trust that you will bring it to me or put it in front of me somehow, and I will hopefully recognize it. And that's the other part. You have to recognize the opportunities when they come and seize on them. Have the courage to seize upon an opportunity and give it a try.
And I think that's kind of tricky, especially right now. We're all feeling the pressure
Mm-hmm.
of high prices and gas and the pandemic that won't go away and all of this other stuff on top of and really exacerbating everything else of just the natural human existence makes us all a little bit at loose ends.
Yeah.
And, I had mentioned that I'm fortunate that I have family around, but I'm fortunate that I connect with my team too, because there's comfort in having them around. And and I have a Frank Sinatra CD in my car, because my car is old enough that it has a CD player in it. And I've had that CD in there for probably 3 weeks now. And there are 20 songs on it, so I've heard them all over and over and over. But it's comforting.
Yes.
And, if there is... I hardly have any CDs anymore because technology and everything has moved on. But I was in a mall a few weeks ago, and there was actually a music store there. They didn't have a whole lot of CDs. I don't really know what it is that they had a whole lot of, T-shirts and trinkets and stuff like that. But they had tons of cheap CDs, $5-6, and to find, 20 of Sinatra's greatest songs on a CD for $6, it was just like it was meant to be. And there is comfort in that, to be able to have that music with me. I mean, I have tons of playlists on my computer and on my phone, but just having that somehow helps. And I mean, that may not be an answer for everybody. It's possible, although unlikely, but I suppose it's possible that somebody listening here doesn't even like Frank Sinatra. You're wrong if that's the case, but
definitely.
But you can find if you have a CD in your car and you can come up with $6, and I know sometimes times are hard, and sometimes coming up with an extra $6 isn't easy. But if you've got a phone, you can find tons of music on YouTube. On most of the streaming services have a free tier. There's some commercials in it, but the radio has commercials too. But the beauty of the streaming stuff is that you can pick out what you want and what brings you comfort. If there's a particular artist or a particular genre, if you grew up in the 80s and that nostalgia still makes you feel better, there's lots of places you can find that kind of music. If music is a thing for you, if it soothes you, that works for me. The other thing, and this is going to sound probably silly, and I should mention that I'm not a doctor, but getting sleep helps.
Oh, yes.
Getting enough sleep. And sometimes that's tough because you go to bed stressed out and worried about a million things, and it's hard to fall asleep, and then you wake up 10 times during the night, and then you got to get up and get your day going, and you got to go to work, and you got things you got to do. I understand all of that, but finding a way to get some sleep is really important and can change. It can have a drastic effect on your attitude, your everything. It's kind of like remembering to eat regularly too, because you skip some meals, and because you're so busy, and that can have a big impact on you too. So taking care of yourself while you're trying to sort all this out is tricky, but it's very important. Making sure you get some rest, making sure you're drinking, especially, wow, it's hot here in Florida. It was close to 90 today, but it felt like it was a little over 100, and humidity's off the charts.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, and I don't have an exclusive on that kind of weather. It's like that in a lot of places.
No, you don't. Was 100 here today.
So drink a lot of water. You know, every time we have talked about angels, talked to angels, one of the things they always say is drink water.
Yeah.
Because it's that important. And it just is. And these seem like very overly simplistic things to do. Sleep, eat, drink water. But those are some of the first things to go when you get stressed out, when you're consuming so much news and doom scrolling through Facebook and Twitter, and everything is just a mess. On top of whatever else that you're dealing with, it's very easy to skip meals, to forget to drink something, to lose an hour or 2, 3 of sleep, and that has a major effect on the way you live, on the way you deal with yourself, your pets, your family, your friends, everybody in your circle, and the way that you perceive how they're dealing with you. When I brought this topic up, I thought we would be talking about burning incense and meditating and all of that stuff, and really, and that's good too. But really, the stuff that the I want to say easy stuff, because sometimes it's hard, but the stuff that doesn't cost you any money, that's not something extra that you have to do. It's just something that the pressure and the stress and all make you forget about doing. And it's the kind of thing that you need to remember, and I need to remember. So I'm glad that I said it on here. So when I listen back later, I'll remember.
Yeah.
Because I'm bad about that too. I'm bad about that too. I get all wrapped up in a million different things, and I have all kinds of job-related things I'm supposed to do for my employer and for myself. And we've had a bit of a family health thing going on. So Lisa's out of town, and I'm here taking care of the homestead and the animals by myself and everything else. And it's not, and this is not for poor Ken. Not going there, but I get wrapped up in all of these other things, and I'm not eating regularly or right or drinking enough water or getting enough sleep. I'm not doing any of those things, and then by the end of the week I feel horrible, and I can be so stressed out, and it can be paralyzing. But when I remember to do those simple things, I feel better. And it's a little bit easier, it's a little bit more manageable to cope. And then I can remember to light the sage and the other candles and meditate. And then I can ask my guides if they will help me win the Powerball.
Yes. The elusive Powerball. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure out the right way to ask for help with that. You know, not out of desperation, not because I deserve it more than anyone else, not because of all of the amazing things I'm going to do and all of the people I'm going to help, but come up with something else, because I think that I'll be able to somehow trick my angels and guides into going, he's got us. That is a good reason. We should do that for him.
I keep telling you, I saw that special on what happens to the people that win.
Oh, I know, but that won't happen to me. That won't happen to me. And it won't happen to me because I'm not going to win.
Okay.
But
yeah, you never know, though. You might.
Yeah. Since it's the 5th of July, and I mentioned that I'm here with alone at home with the dogs. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, and really for the last week, there have been tons of fireworks.
Yeah.
Which has added to the household stress because the dogs are freaked out.
That's so sad.
And I had them both in here in my office with me last night. They both wanted to be close because last night was the biggest fireworks thing of them all, all over the neighborhood. And I had closed I have blinds on the window, and I had closed them the wrong way, so you could, from the ground, you could look up and you could still see through them up into the sky. And Lisa's dog was sitting here next to me, and she could look up and see all of the explosions in the sky, and her eyes were just huge. And so I did what I could to sort of comfort them. And I think that's what we all need right now is to comfort those that we can, and to let somebody else comfort you.
Yeah.
And I think we have so much trouble letting somebody else help us, letting somebody else do something.
That's always hard.
Yeah. And it's such a great gift to be able to give somebody, to let them do that for you. So anyhow, those are a few things before we get farther off track to do to sort of manage the stress and manage the pressure. And it doesn't solve any problems, but maybe that can help you figure out how to solve them when you're feeling more like you. And Toni, you had mentioned the release thing. Can you give a little more?
Release and surrender.
Release and surrender.
I don't think I'd ever done that in my entire life fully. I don't think I understood what it was. I mean, the angels will tell you, and the spiritual masters will tell you, that you have got to give your cares, your biggest problems, what you can't handle anymore, to the angels, and you have to ask them to step in. So, I would every morning say, help me, lead me, guide me. I say that to my guides. But I had a big issue that needed to be fixed. I needed to generate a certain amount of income, and I wanted to do it from my, my gifts. And then I needed a place to live. So I just tried it. I totally release and surrender everything to God and the angels. I can't see my way toward fixing these two things. I don't see how at my age, 74 years old, these things are even possible to have happen for me, that I'd move at that age, to a perfect place, all of that I could afford, and unbelievable. And just to quickly zoom ahead, the answers came. Other people showed up and gave them to me. But I heard them as the voice of my angel. I knew. And I thought, ding, 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 ding. That's the answer. There it is. It's in a gift. It was a casual comment that I realized was the absolute thing I could do. And it worked out. I got the job, and I got the job effortlessly. and it's paid off, and then I got the place to live. And I think I'd still be sitting where I was, not happy about it, but trying to make the best of it, probably forever, if I had not done that. Because it was the most amazing, cathartic thing. I was even crying when I was doing it, and I never cry. I mean, I really don't. I cry at a movie or something like that, but I don't really cry about my life. And darned if it didn't work. It flabbergasted me, and quickly. So it's just a total release in complete faith that the exact thing for my highest good would appear. I put in the order for what I wanted, but I didn't know if it was for my highest good, so I left it open. I said, this is what I'd like, but I trust that I will get what's for my highest good. And then that was it. Forgot about it and just kind of went about life, and the answers came. So try it. Everybody. I mean it. Give it a shot. It can't hurt.
I think for me, difficult part of that is having faith and forgetting about it then, turning it over. It's really hard.
I literally did. I had no choice. I tried my own way, and it didn't work. I racked my brain. I couldn't come up with a damn thing, and I'm not kidding you. Because I had the limitations of humanity. And it took some out of the box thinking to come up with the two things that were perfect for me. I'm not kidding you. You have to just have perfect faith. Now I have perfect faith.
So
the right thing will happen.
For people who are listening who feel like they might be hard to say in a similar situation, but in that sort of mindset that they just don't know how to get where they need to be, where they want to be, how do you suggest they do release and surrender?
The way I did, by admitting that I couldn't see it, that I had no clue. I kept saying, I'm clueless. If you can figure this one out, it's like it's going to be a miracle. I was asking for what I thought were miracles, and they weren't. And I thought both those things would be miracles. And I literally said, I release and surrender, and I meant it. I said, I'm not doing a good job on this particular assignment. I need help. So I give it away. I give it to you. Help me, guide me, show me. And I felt really good after I did that. I thought, now, let's see what happens.
Was this as a part of a meditation?
It was a part of a prayer. It was a prayer.
Okay.
I was praying. It was in the broad daylight, went in my bedroom, and I just kind of laid there and prayed and said, I don't see the way, but I do have faith, and I'm going to give it to you. I've never really given away a problem like that in my life. Tend to, pray about them. I don't really ask for things for myself. And that was probably the first thing I ever really asked for. I just said, show me the way. If there's a way to do these two things, show me how, because I don't see it. It's that simple. You're looking for something dramatic. It was simple, and it felt good. And I realize now that I'm telling you, I have never prayed for anything. For me. For others. But not for me. I don't pray for things. I make them happen myself pretty much. But that one I did not make happen myself. I prayed for help. And you can do that. It's so simple and profound.
And I have certainly been on a metaphysical path for a shorter period of time than you, but one of the things that I have constantly come across is that the answers are usually pretty simple. We're expecting them to be
really simple.
We're expecting them to be complicated, and we want to make sure we say the right words in the right order and on the right night and at the right time when the moon and the stars are in the right place. And we just make it so complicated, and it doesn't need to be.
No. I mean,
and I have talked to so many people and trying to help them connect with their guides or help them connect with their angels, and everybody always wants to make it
more, than it is. Yeah,
really, really
more dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah, and part of that, I suppose, might be because of what we've seen on TV with.
Yes, I keep saying that does not come with the soundtrack.
Right.
The real life
there's
does
no
not
soundtrack.
come with the soundtrack. Yeah, no.
There's no soundtrack. There's and the other, and it's not the same for everyone. But to, it has to feel right to you. And there aren't particular magic words and phrases. It needs to come from you. And you know what you need to say, and nobody's going to take off for spelling or for wrong grammar or any of that kind of thing. But you just have to figure it out. And if you're going to release and surrender it, there's not a recipe beyond what Toni has said tonight. You just need to
ask for the help. Put it in God's hands.
Yeah.
Put yourself in God's hands. My grandmother used to tell me that all the time. And I'm hard-headed.
Yeah.
I'm hard-headed.
Yes, I'm a member of that club. But whether it's stress about job or stress about political things in the news that are going on, and the shootings and the pandemic and inflation and gas prices and on and on and on, whatever it is, those all get in the way of what it is you want to do, want to be, where you want to be. And if you are having that kind of trouble, take some deep breaths and do what Toni suggests.
Yeah. Well, you have to be practical too. If it's about money, you probably need a second job or an extra job. So that's what you would be trying to manifest. That was my case. I needed to have a steady job that would generate an X amount of dollars in part-time hours, because I'm too old to work full-time. And I found that, perfectly with the Keen. Yeah, it was Keen. So I got on Keen, and that's been amazing.
And you bring up another really good point, and I promise we're going to get to calls here in just a minute. But knowing what it is that you want is really important. And we get so many calls from people who are looking for love, but they don't really know what that looks like. They just like the idea of it, and they want somebody. And I always suggest making a list, because I'm a Virgo and I love lists.
Yeah.
But really, for any aspect in your life, lists are a great thing. If there's something that you want, if you're looking for, if you have a problem and you need money, make a list of what you need and anything you can think of related to it. And that gets you somewhere. So if you're going to do this release and surrender, that you have more of an idea. And it also means that it means more, that you can sort of visualize what it is that you are releasing, that you are turning over. Because if you just say, I release all of this stress, well, there's plenty more to come. So what stress is it that you're releasing? What is it? What's the situation? What's the thing that does that? But make your lists. Make a list of whatever it is that you want, because a lot of times if you're in that position where you're saying that the world's on fire and I can't even think and figure out and see my way to where I want to be, the question I would ask is, well, where is it you want to be?
That's
and if you don't know the answer,
part out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you don't know that answer, that's something you should think about.
Yes, I agree.
But anyway, I feel like I've been on a soapbox, so I'm going to climb down now.
Okay.
Okay, there. All right. 347-838-9903 is the number. We're going to take some calls here. Toni, before we do that, you should explain yourself, who you are, why you're here, and what you're going to do.
Okay, I am Toni DeMaio. I'm a lifelong psychic. I was lucky enough to be mentored by my grandmother, who was also a psychic. It runs in my family. I have both my living children are psychic. Samantha was psychic before she passed, and 2 of my grandkids and 2 of my great-grands also. So it just kind of runs in the family. Very strong, intuitive. Was able to study for 8 years with Marianne Michaels on the East Coast, which was invaluable. Excellent for turning it off, understanding it, being able to control it to an extent. And I'm also a Reiki master teacher and a life coach. I do that too. So for today, I'm going to do my specialty, which is speaking with the guides and angels. And that's where I get my messages from your own guides and angels who speak with mine, and my guide tells me everything in my right ear. And I do use cards, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, actually. And I have a pendulum, too, for yes and no answers.
Oh, I love pendulum.
So that's what I'm doing today. I know you do.
I love pendulum.
Got a pink quartz. It's really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. One of my favorites.
I'm Ken Kessler, and I fly the plane and push the buttons here. I am a psychic medium and music intuitive. I get most of my information from music and music-related spirit and angels. And for the purposes of Psychic Tapestry, I have a player that is loaded up with how many things are on. I have a bunch of different playlists that I use. Tonight's playlist has 3,984 songs on it. And I started it playing randomly, shuffling before we started. And when we take your call, I invite my guides and angels and your guides and angels to give me the song that's for you. So when we take your call, I'll let you know what was playing and what I think it means for you. Excuse me. And one of the things that I love about music is that it's so personal that I can tell you Blues in the Night was playing just now. And I can tell you about that song, and I can tell you 9 or 10 people who have recorded it over the years. And all of that's great, but it could mean something specific to you, instantly makes you think of a relative or a situation or something that isn't what I'm saying, and that's valid. That counts. Sometimes that's just how it works. Angels and spirit like to use what's in our head as the reader to trigger in you what you need to know. And sometimes it can be as simple as my saying Blues in the Night. So that's what I'll be doing. That's all I need to say, isn't it, Toni?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. 347-838-9903 is the number, and let's hit the phones. Hi, thanks so much for hanging on. What's your first name? Hi, if you're calling from area code 713, this is you.
Hi, this is Rose.
Hi.
Hi, Rose. How are you?
Hi, Toni.
Good.
Hi, Rose. Where are you calling from?
Houston.
Yay.
And how can we help you
Toni
tonight?
is my Reiki master.
Yeah.
I would just like to general reading.
Okay, we'll see what the angels have in store for you, beautiful Rose. Rose is one of the most wonderful people that ever lived. Oh, this is a good one, Rose. I just pulled a random card out of the Guardian Angel deck, and it's all about love. New love coming for you. Romance blooms and love grows. You may receive flowers unexpectedly, followed by whispered phone conversations in the evenings that go on for hours and hours. And they say this is all part of the process of falling in love. Your heart soars and you smile more than usual. And it just says, this is coming for you. Wow. This may be a new person in your life or someone you've known or been with for a while whose romantic flames have been rekindled. Either way, love is in the air. Breathe deeply of its bouquet. It will be a person who makes your heart flutter, someone who is dreamily emotional and romantic, a true soulmate, an idealist about love, an artist at heart who might be a bit dramatic, wise in matters of the heart, with clarity about what is important in life. So it says, please stay grounded during this emotional experience, but you need to prepare by opening your heart to this experience of love, this situation that's coming for you. And there's another love card. This is not a love deck, but the two cards you got are all about love. The Nine of Emotion. This is the card of dreams realized and wishes come true. All that you've been hoping for is headed your way. Your concerns or fears surrounding the issue that you're asking about in your head are unnecessary and soon will fade away. There's no more need for worry. Everything in your life is going to work out beautifully. And this is a magical time in your life. Things will either work out the way you had planned or they will develop into something even better. So the angels and guides want you to focus on feelings of joy and contentment during this abundant time. And abundance can also mean not only love, but joy and also money. And they're saying you should have pride in your accomplishments. You're going to feel a great happiness and satisfaction with your life. You will have financial abundance, and it is definitely time for you to have some fun. Okay, what do you think of that?
I love it. Thank you. I am so ready. Bring it on.
Couldn't happen to a nicer person.
Thank you, Toni.
I love you, Rose. I'm going to give you to Ken now.
You, Toni.
Thank you so much for calling.
Hi, Rose. The song that was playing when we picked up your call was Don't Do Me Like That by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Do you know that one?
I do.
Okay. Does it, before I launch into anything, does it mean anything to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I wanted to hear what you got to say because, yeah, it totally does.
Okay. I get two things from this. The first is a reminder to treat people the way you want to be treated. But the second one, and I think it's the important one here, is about standing up for yourself and don't let anybody else talk down to you, get away with anything. You need to, you need to be, you need to just stand up for yourself. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling us tonight.
Well, thank you, Ken, and thank you, Toni.
Thank you, sweetie, and I'll see you at Reiki on Saturday.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Love you,
Take care.
Honey. Love you. Bye-bye. Honey.
Bye-bye. 347-838-9903 is the number. Hi, thanks so much for hanging on. What's your first name?
Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. Where are you calling from?
Florida.
And how can we help you tonight?
Just want to know when things would pick up socially. When I'll meet somebody or dating or anything. It's been quiet.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. This is an emotion card that I pulled for you. It's the Four of Emotion. And the angels want you to know that there are very positive forces around you just waiting to help. This is kind of like what we were talking about earlier. They say that it's time for you to awaken to all the endless possibilities that are just waiting for you in life. They don't want you to take any of the wonderful things in your life for granted. Instead, be grateful for them and look around to see what other amazing opportunities that God and the angels have in store for you. So this is kind of all about getting motivated and seeing what's being offered to you in the way of an opportunity. They want you really to focus on the positive, and they want you to use reflection and meditation as a tool, and then do some daydreaming and going within. These are all healthy ways to get clarity on who you are and what you want from life. And if that is love, as you said, it's time to make your list, as Ken pointed out earlier, qualities that you would want in a partner. And imagine all the places you would go together and what you would do and how you would feel, all of those good things. And don't leave things like character off your list. I once did that. I manifested a very handsome person that didn't have any character. So be careful of that.
Yeah, that's what I want. Somebody has a character to back that up.
To back it up. So don't leave all those qualities off the list. I literally did that to myself. It was funny. But anyway, this is definitely coming next for you. There is no two ways about it. So release and surrender to your guides and angels and say, I need you to bring them to me because I don't know. My methods aren't working so well. So once you have the insights, they will be delivered. Remember to take focused action so that you don't miss out on the joy of living out all of your dreams. So also you have to put yourself in a place to meet someone. And my new advice to pretty much everybody is that going dancing is really a good way to meet people. Most places nowadays have these either clubs or dancing schools where they have a free lesson to bring people in kind of early in the evening. And then after the free lesson where everybody dances with everyone else and learns whatever dance, it is. You could go for salsa, for ballroom dancing, for any kind, hip-hop, whatever you like. And then people dance afterwards. It's like a night, a real dance. It's a social occasion, and you get to meet people. Two of the people that I advised are getting married to their dance partners that they met at dance. So
wow.
It's not a bad thing to do. And you can go yourself or you can go with a friend. But it's just regular people who want to meet other people and learn to dance. And it's a lot of fun.
My mom back in the day used to teach ballroom dancing.
There you go. I bet you know how to do it, too.
Yeah, I'm
a
good
dancer. I love it. And I have another card for you. It's a 10 of action card. And the angels feel like you're working too hard and that you need to have more of a career-life balance. Would you say that?
You're right, because all I do is work. I don't, I just go to work and come home. It's the truth.
Yep, and they say also that you have to love yourself, and then you need to have other love in your life, meaning it's time for your partner. So this card is backing that up. So you have to make room for your new man because he's coming. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Those are good cards. Oh, thank you, honey. I'm so glad that you called.
Wow.
And I'm going
that was
give
very
you,
enlightening.
Yay. And I'm going to
Spot
give you to
on,
Ken.
because, you know, you work and you just, you know, and then, you know, it's July 4th and half the year is over. And I'm like, what was I doing? Just working and go to work and go overtime. And it's like, even if I had some female friends, that would be good. But
exactly. You have to get out there and meet them. Meetup is another good way. They have social gatherings on Meetup. It's a good way to meet all kinds of people. Definitely.
Wow.
I'm going to give you to Ken now, honey. Thank you for calling.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Stacy. One song was ending and another one was starting, so I'm going to give them both to you. And this is one of those times where I wish I'd gone first, because the second song is the Ramones' Do You Want to Dance?
Oh,
which I feel like goes with everything that Toni was just saying.
It's perfect.
The other song was Over My Head by Echo Smith. Do you know that song?
No.
It's a lot about a relationship where there was really no communication, no connection. And what this means to me is be very aware of not bringing in baggage from another relationship when you meet somebody new. Give them a chance. It's very easy to hear them say something and your immediate reaction is, oh, that's I know what that means, because he's going to do the same kind of stuff that other guy did.
That sounds like me.
Yeah. So give them a chance. And I'm not saying ignore red flags. You know, if there's something obvious that's not compatible, not ever going to be compatible, I'm not telling you to overlook that. But did you ever watch the sitcom Seinfeld?
Yes.
Okay. They used to, Jerry and George both used to constantly find the most inane reasons to break up with somebody or not see anybody anymore. Eats their peas one at a time, you know, likes this commercial, does, you know, all that kind of stuff that doesn't matter. And it's very easy to get caught up when you're meeting somebody new and they say something and you have a flashback to something that somebody in the past had said, and you immediately project all of the problems and issues and everything that was wrong with that relationship on this poor new guy who doesn't even know what he said. So it's just give him a chance, and do you want to dance? Enjoy yourself. Don't put the pressure on, because there hasn't been a relationship in a while. Don't put the pressure on meeting somebody and all the boxes have to be checked and this is the one, because nobody's going to survive that kind of pressure. But that's the thing about Do You Want to Dance? It's about enjoying yourself and having some fun and getting to meet somebody and talking to them and letting yourself connect and see how it goes. I hope that helps.
Yes, it does, because, you know, someone that makes me laugh, that's important, but not someone that's sarcastic. You know, somebody that makes me laugh, I would like.
And just try to remember that you're meeting somebody new, they're meeting somebody new too. So they may be a little nervous. They may not say things the way they mean to say. So just sort of keep that in mind. Okay?
Thank you, Ken. Both of you, Toni and Ken, that was both very good.
Thank
you. You guys nailed it. Because nailed how I feel. And Toni was spot on too. Also with that, you guys are great together.
Thank you very much.
We're so glad you called.
Yeah, thanks so much, Stacy. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
Blessings to both of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Same to you. Thank you. I was about to give out, excuse me, the number again, and we're running out of time. Do you want to try and get somebody in here really quick?
Sure.
Okay. Let's see how we can do here. Hi, thanks for hanging on. What's your first name?
My name is Ashir. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how can we help you tonight?
Just my love life. What's coming up?
Okay, well, this is Love Night, and I just pulled a card out of that Guardian Angel deck, and it's another love card. It's the Two of Emotion, and this card is all about a relationship growing closer as two people fall in love. It could either be a current relationship that gets stronger or someone brand new. It could also be that a friendship may deepen into a spiritual love connection. Mutual respect and understanding will exist and develop. And they say, do not give up on your relationships that feel challenging, because there is still hope for you and there is a new love coming. Okay?
Okay.
And that's exactly what you wanted. So I'm amazed that out of 84 cards, I picked that. Now I'm going to give you the 10 for your musical messages, and thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, we are quickly running out of time, so I'm going to try and go through this quickly. The song that was playing when we picked up your call was the Righteous Brothers and their cover of Ray Charles' "What'd I Say?" And what this means to me is, first, you're calling about your love life. It's about having fun, like we were just talking to Stacy. So when you're looking for something new or when you find somebody new, don't put that pressure on it to be the end-all, be-all. Have some fun. What did I say also means to pay attention to what's coming out of your mouth, because sometimes you're going to be nervous when you're meeting somebody new, and sometimes it just makes you dumb and it makes you say stupid things. So try and stay aware of what you're thinking and what you're saying, and just pay attention. And I'm sorry that's so rushed, but Blog Talk Radio is going to cut us off here in a moment, whether we're ready or not. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
thanks so much for calling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. It's funny, I was about to give the phone number out again. We're just about to get cut off. Thanks, everybody, for calling. Apologies to those who are still on the line that we couldn't get to you. We just ran out of time because I talked too much. Sorry. You can go to psychictapestry.com, click on our teachers and book a private reading with Toni or with me, or I think with Lisa, and or you can wait, and Toni and I will be back 2 weeks from tonight if technology and everything else goes well. That's the plan.
Yep.
Anyway,
That's the plan.
But thank you so much for calling. Thank you for listening tonight, or for listening whenever it is that you do listen to this podcast. We really appreciate it. And Toni, thank you for giving up part of your Tuesday evening for us.
It's the highlight of my Tuesday evening, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Take care of yourself. I know it's tough. Hang in there, and remember to tell those close to you that you love them.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
And we love
and we'll
you.
talk soon. Yeah.
Bye.
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 With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.